Welcome back to 4th Avenue Guitars. If you're watching, I'm sure you're aware it's great guitar build-off time again. If you're not bleeding at the end, you haven't worked hard enough. That's my motto. What I think I'm going to do this year is an ES335. With a difference. I'm not planning on laminating the top, back and sides. I'm planning on using the other half of the double thickness body blank that I used for last year's build, which I have here. So this is, once I've levelled it down, will be about 1.25 inches thick, which is quite thin. But I also tend to do fairly slim bodied guitars. I find them quite comfortable. And coupled with a arched top and back, or carved top and back, which I've done a few of, they adds a little bit of thickness in the middle, and it's quite slim and comfy around the edge, so the proportions kind of work with where you want them. I'm going to put this back out of the way because it was completely pointless grabbing it, really. So the drawings that I've done here are, obviously this is standard ES335 shape with, you can see, a tailpiece. I like tailpieces. The trapeze tailpiece just kind of finishes off the look in my eyes, and the one thing that's always bugged me about the ES335, as stunning a design as it is this huge area behind the bridge and tailpiece, which balances out the extra long neck quite nicely, but it's also quite a lot of dead space, which I've always found a bit strange. So I'm going to use a tailpiece there, and if I get rid of this, I've got some drawings of the internal workings here, sort of. Now, I know it's meant to have a maple centre block, but if I use the piece of mahogany I've got, I can split it in the middle and do a centre jointed two-piece body, which means I can then have the ribs mahogany for the body with the mahogany centre block. I've decided I want to have a go at beating some copper. At the moment there is no plan B. F-holes, make it up and do it on the fly. Brass tubing. I've also got a bit of a thing for engines. Cooling fins with the diamond cut. I am not threading 50 metres of leather through this one. I mean, I've got some rosewood, Asgard, that's the one, etching on the copper, which just leaves me a squirrel. It's going to be a faff. Oh, hang on a minute. I've only got 6 videos to do this in, and I've just wasted one of them talking rubbish. Yeah, let's do some woodworking. So we're going to chop this lovely one-piece body blank into 2 pieces, because as much as I could fit a standard guitar body onto this, it's not wide enough for what I want to do. So this template hangs off the side. So what I'm going to do is have a centre join, flip the sides round, and make a 2-piece body. the bandsaw. There's body. Just gotta wait for that to dry now. Body blank's glued up. I've given the joint a quick sand, and if it wasn't for the very slight difference in colour between the two halves, mainly due to which side of the piece of wood it came from, you wouldn't be able to see it. It's a nice glue joint. So what I need to do now is just mark out where the body shape is going to be within this blank for future reference. So with that marked out, I can take it back over to the bandsaw and trim it close to these edges, and that'll just be the body roughly cut out and ready to go. That was easy. Done some cutting, planing and measuring, and my neck blank is going to be a 4-piece, which is a little bit odd, but I'm going to put some contrasting veneers between each piece, and it'll have like pinstripes running up the length of it, which will look quite nice. But I need to taper the two centre laminates so that the pinstripes run with the taper of the neck rather than running out of the sides of it. So I need to figure out how much to taper it. If I've got a 42 foot, or we'll say 43mm nut, because it gives me a bit of extra leeway, and my usual taper of 53mm at the 12th fret, I can divide that by 4 and figure out exactly what I need to work with. So if I have roughly 10mm at the nut and roughly 12 or 13 at the 12th fret, that should give me a fairly even taper where the veneers follow the line of the neck. They don't look too far out of the sides. Obviously, if I've got slightly wider outside laminates, because they're carved a lot thinner, then it'll look more even. I don't work well with maths, so figuring it out in my head is all well and good, but until I've actually done it, I'm not going to know whether it's going to work. So I need to get my tapering jig out and run these through the bandsaw. That's the tapering done. We've got 55mm at the nut, 60 at the 12th fret. That's pretty much perfect, so that means that we'll taper in on all 4 of these laminates. The pinstripes will make them stand out nicely, and we'll have a really nice neck. I just need to sand all of these smooth so I can get the glue joints just right, and then cut some veneer. Holding a ruler like that's a great way to accidentally trim chunks of skin off the sides of your fingers. That's my neck blank all glued up. Off camera I've run it through the planer and then I've spent some time getting this face perfectly flat and level. What I need to do now is cut the angle for the headstock and then we've got two blanks ready to go. I've marked on where my nut's going to go, but what I forgot to do was mark the back of the nut, which is important because that's where the headstock angle needs to stop.